first step, we ask for an IP address in the pool to the manager. The IPAM will provide us with an IP address, so that's the feedback here, and Terraform will use this IP address to create the VM, which will be step 4. Since we have created an IP address in the IPAM, it will create the records, so that's the step 2. And then we have the automation towards Route 53 and the internal SOLIDserver DNS. And then Terraform will create also the resource in the EC2 service. So we create a simple VM with the IP address we got from the IPAM. And at the end of this creation, a public IP address will be assigned to this VM for it to be accessible on the internet. And this IP address will come back through Terraform in the next step, which is the step 5. And the step 5, we will update the public zone of the DNS in order to get the link between the name of the application we host in this AWS VM and its public IP address. And normally, if everything works well, you will be able to access, even yourself, if you're quick enough, the small website we install on the server. So let's go for it. Same principle, we have a step, Terraform, that will create everything. Just start the planning phase. What it looks like, that's the aggregation of what we've done previously. We ask for an IP address, it will be called app-step 3. Obviously the step is not good here. And then we create an AWS instance, so we are using the AWS plugin of Terraform to do that. Nothing we have developed on our side, but we put a constraint that the private IP address that will be used for this VM comes from the SOLIDserver IPAM. And then once it's done, we will create a record in the zone you've seen just before, which is called devo-public.gigom, and we will have a record with the IP address that has been associated with this VM. We will see what it looks like once Amazon will have provided us with an IP address for that. So the first step of the Terraform install is the planification of everything that has to be done. In our case, it installs also all the plugins. Here we are. So few steps to perform. Let's confirm the job because we are okay with that. It's going to take a bit longer for sure because we have to exchange information back and forth from the DDI and from Amazon to create the VM, but you probably have seen the principle. And at the end of the day, the interest is that for sure our IPAM will be up to date. We will have the proper IP. Nothing left. We will be able to destroy this IP when the VM is not used anymore, which is very important security perspective and also from cost perspective. And we will have our DNS record for which the creation has been automated by the smart and the DDI automation. So let's go. First step that the planification has found is to get an IP address. So if I go back in my IPAM network, we now have a new IP address that has been provided by IPAM. It's in another pool, the development pool in this case. So linked to this IP address, for sure, we have a record that has been created. Don't try to have it at the bottom, it's at the top. So that's the record with its name and its IP address, internal IP address from the IPAM itself. And then it seems that Terraform has finalized its creation, and we have an IP address that has been provided by AWS, this one starting by 52. This IP address is live right now, so the VM after its installation will be available at this address. and also at this name. So what happens for sure in our DNS is that step 5, we update the record. So if I have a look in the other zone, the Divo public zone, I now have a record that has been created with the public IP address. If Amazon is quite fast enough to set up our VM, this name will answer. Sometimes it works and sometimes it takes more time than that. But if I do start a browser, maybe we'll have some hints effectively. This is a website by default that has been installed with the Nginx web server, very simple, basic. So if we imagine that we have, after the Terraform process, some kind of automation to install an application, it could be live right now. So we have made the whole process here, asking for an IP address, putting a name in the IPAM, creating a VM. The records are automatically created, and then we have the application working.